Welcome everyone to HueFin, also known as HueFin News, the location to where we trade different. Today is December the 12th, 2020, and on today's series, on our Lookback series, we are going to look at the performance of the financial education channel of 3 stocks that he's buying in February of 2017. Now, if this is your first time watching our videos, you guys appreciate the content that we are delivering. Make sure before you go, you hit the like button, you subscribe to our channel, and as well hit that bell notification. You do not want to miss out on any of the information we are delivering on this particular platform. If you want to, you can also join us on our other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, even on the gram. We do have our own website at HueFinancial.com as well. You can join us at all of those other locations too. So now we are starting a new series for one reason. If you were to type in stocks to buy or 3 stocks I'm buying, there are a plethora or various videos out on YouTube of individuals showing us which stocks we should be buying. So in the midst of that, we wanted to see the performance of those stocks that these people are talking about are a buy, to see in fact they were a buy, to see in fact they are gaining profits out the market. Today's video is going to be about financial education. You guys can see him right there on our screen. So he did this video all the way back in January of 2017. This video was uploaded to YouTube. Here it is right there. This video had about 23,000 views, and he told everyone who watched the video that there were 3 stocks that he was looking at buying. Those 3 stocks were GoPro, Wynn Resorts, and Under Armour. So those are going to be the 3 stocks we are going to look at today to see the performance on different time frames, because many of these people talk about long-term investing, a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years out. They are talking about holding these stocks, which is ridiculous. You'll see on our report of how these 3 stocks that Jeremy talked about on this video, how they performed. So let's get started into that right now. So let's show you our report. Okay, so this is it. Financial education. We started the close price of these 3 stocks, whatever the close price were for these 3 stocks on January 31st, 2017. That was our starting point. Okay. So now you have GoPro here, Wynn Resorts, and Under Armour. This particular chart shows you the performance of those 3 particular stocks that Jeremy said he was buying on different time frames. So for instance, looking at GoPro, you guys can see that GoPro in its 7-day return from January 31st, you would have been down 13%. Well, what about in 30 days from the date of you purchasing GoPro on January 31st, 2017, you'd have been down almost 14%. 90 days. This stock continually saw decreases in percentages. 21% GoPro was down in 90 days. Well, what about from a year ago of when we purchased this particular stock on January 31st? 50%. 3 years, 63% the market is down in GoPro. Massive losses on this particular stock that Jeremy said he was buying back in 2017. Here we are almost 3 years in 2020. And you guys can see GoPro 3-year total return is 63%. Massive loss. So let's take a look at Wynn Resorts. He also talked about Wynn Resorts on that video. Initially, this particular stock did see some losses. In 7 days, the market was down 4.36%. It returned some of those losses, about 1.25% in 30 days. Now, it was here that we need to talk about Wynn Resorts, okay? So you guys can see that Wynn Resorts in 90 days of purchasing the stock on January 31st, 2017, you would have saw percentage growth, 24.14% growth. What about a year from the date of when we purchased this particular stock was fantastic. 63.26%. You should have left the market in Wynn Resorts from a year of when you purchased this stock, because you saw most of your gains. This is where all your profits were within a year of purchase. 63.26%, because now you can see on the 3-year return, you lost majority of those gains that you would have won or had when you purchased the stock or would have gotten out in a year. So in 3 years, you're back down to 24.38%. So why are so many people pushing that notion that you need to hold these stocks long term? 5 years, 10 years, you guys can see that the percentage gains are decreasing. You're losing your money. You're losing profit. So at what point would you exit out your trade in Wynn Resorts? It should have been a year from when you purchased the stock. It's just that easy. So who's to say that Wynn Resorts is going to even be worth 24.38% in profit in the next 5 years? And then you look at Under Armour. This is the third stock that Jeremy talked about on that video. Under Armour has been in the negative ever since January 31st, 2017. It's never seen any profits. So the whole time, if you're there for a long-term hold for Under Armour, the whole 5 years, the whole 3 years you've been in a negative. Massive loss. Now, this is just a numerical view of these 3 stocks that Jeremy talked about. Okay. And you can see down here, GoPro, Under Armour, and Wynn Resorts. So GoPro, the price of GoPro, which is right here, on January 31st, 2017, was $10.75. Today, the value of GoPro is $8.71. That is a negative 18.98% decrease in profitability. You're down almost 19% from almost 4 years ago. You're still down almost 19%. The next one, number 2, Under Armour. This is Under Armour right here. You probably can't see it because the trap is in the way. The price of Under Armour, which is here, was $21.49 on January 31st, 2017. That was the close price. Today, Under Armour is going for $17.17, which translates over to being down 20.1%. We purchased the stock on January 31st, 2017 at $21.49. It is now worth $17.17. We're down 20%. Well, what about Wynn Resorts? The price of Wynn Resorts back in January of 2017 was $101.43. Today, the price for Wynn Resorts is $110.98. That is a profit of 9.42%. So the whole duration of us holding these stocks, from what Jeremy talked about in 2017, has garnered us losses. These 3 stocks that he talked about, only 1 out of 3 is still showing profitability. And even on that one that did show us the profitability, you shouldn't have taken a profit back a year ago from when we purchased the stock. You're losing profits now in that one stock that he's gaining on. So the performance of these stocks that he talked about on that video were terrible. The performance of those stocks looked terrible. Now, if you know of any other YouTubers out there that is talking about stocks that are a buy from 2016, 2017, leave us a comment and we'll go ahead and do a performance report on them to see how those stocks has fared. Because these 3 stocks that Jeremy talked about were terrible. Plain and simple. That's it. GoPro, Wynn Resorts, and Under Armour. Question is, if you're in Wynn Resorts right now, when will you take the profits? when will you exit out the market? Because there's no guarantee in the next 5 years that this profit of 24.38% is still going to be there. Think about that. And that's it. Make sure you maintain a profitability and trade different.